There's something haunting about dying in the middle of doing what you love. Music is meant to be the celebration of life, but sometimes the stage becomes the last place a musician ever stands. These aren't just tragic stories. They're strange, emotional echoes of lives cut short in the middle of a song, a note, or a thunderous final solo. Dimebag Darrell of Pantera and Damageplan was one of the most gifted metal guitarists to ever touch a fretboard. Loud, wild, and absolutely ferocious on stage. On December 8, 2004, exactly 24 years after John Lennon's passing, Dimebag was shot during a show in Columbus, Ohio. A disturbed fan rushed the stage and opened fire. It wasn't just Dimebag who died that night. Others were wounded or killed too. It wasn't just a tragedy. It felt like metal itself took a bullet. In the early 70s, Scottish blues rock band Stone the Crows were on the rise. Les Harvey was their guitarist, known for his soulful tone and smooth licks. During a gig in 1972, Les reached for a microphone with wet hands and was electrocuted in front of the audience. It was one of those freak accidents that didn't just take a life, it left everyone stunned. Les was just 27. Tiny Tim, the ukulele-playing oddball behind Tiptoe Through the Tulips, was a real character. He looked like he belonged in another era entirely, but people loved him. In 1996, during a benefit concert in Minneapolis, Tiny Tim suffered a heart attack on stage while performing his signature song.
Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
He collapsed into his wife's arms, still holding his ukulele. He was pronounced dead shortly after. There was something poetic about it, even in the sadness, like his whole life was a performance, right down to the final breath. If you ever wandered down the back roads of country music history, you might bump into Onnie Wheeler, a harmonica-playing honky-tonk legend who worked with Johnny Cash and Jerry Lee Lewis. On May 26, 1984, Onnie was playing a show at the Grand Ole Opry when he collapsed and died on stage.
God so burdened my mind and he said,
There's something fitting about a country musician going out like that. No flash, no big headline, just a man playing his heart out until the end. Morphine wasn't a typical rock band. Two-string slide bass, saxophone, and this smoky, late-night jazz rock hybrid that just oozed cool. Mark Sandman was the frontman, tall, quiet, and smooth as velvet. In 1999, while playing in Italy, Sandman collapsed on stage and died of a heart attack. He was only 46, and the band was in its prime. The name Morphine was never meant to be prophetic, but it feels eerie in hindsight. This one goes back further, 1960. Leonard Warren was a baritone with the Metropolitan Opera. During a performance of Verdi's La Forza del Destino, he sang the aria Morir, Tremenda Cosa, which literally means to die, a momentous thing.
To King Ricardo's picture, which is hanging on the wall, and sings one of the most stirring arias of the operatic world.
Immediately after, he collapsed and died of a stroke, right there on stage. It was Shakespearean, almost scripted, except it wasn't. The man died singing about death. Talk about life imitating art in the most brutal way. Nick Menza was best known as the drummer for Megadeth during their golden years, the Rust in Peace era. But in 2016, he was playing with his band OHM at a club in Los Angeles when he collapsed mid-set. He died from heart failure at just 51. He spent his last moments behind a drum kit mid-rhythm. Not a bad way to go for a drummer, but tragic all the same. Fans never got to say goodbye. 1 minute he was grooving, the next, silence. It was supposed to be a night of joy and nostalgia. On October 15, 2022, Haitian singer Michael Benjamin, better known as Myson, was taking the stage at the Accor Arena in Paris for a much-anticipated reunion show with his old band Crayola. But as the set came to a close and he made his way off stage, something unthinkable happened. He collapsed. At first, people assumed it was part of the act, maybe a dramatic ending. But no, it was real. Myson had suffered a heart attack. Paramedics rushed to help, but it was too late. He was gone. And those who were there that night would never forget the way his final performance lit up the room before everything went dark. Fat Man Scoop was a larger-than-life hype man with an unmistakable voice that could shake the walls. His music wasn't just loud, it was pure energy. Tracks like Be Faithful had become anthems. People didn't just listen to him, they moved to him. Midway through his set though, the room changed. Scoop suddenly collapsed. At first, the silence felt strange. Was it part of the show? A bit? But when he didn't get back up, panic spread fast. Emergency crews rushed in, the crowd cleared out, and word quickly spread. Fat Man Scoop had died from a heart disease. He was only 52. The Metropolitan Opera House in New York City was packed. Leonard Warren, one of opera's greatest baritones, was in his element. His voice? Thunderous, commanding. He was mid-performance in La Forza del Destino, ironically, The Force of Destiny. During Act 3, he sang the haunting line, Morir, tremenda cosa, to die, a momentous thing. And then it happened. He collapsed, right there on stage, in full costume, mid-scene. A cerebral hemorrhage had ended his life instantly. He was just 48. The crowd was stunned. The curtain didn't drop, it froze. Everyone sat in silence, realizing that the voice that had filled the opera house for decades was gone. Not just gone, silenced mid-song. There's something uniquely tragic about these stories, not because they happened in public, but because they happened in the middle of something beautiful. Music is supposed to lift us, carry us, keep us going. And these artists were doing just that, sharing something real, something alive, until they weren't. It makes you think about how fragile the moment really is. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comment section below and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.